Good day and welcome to Bust the Net with me, President Chad. And I have a very special guest inside the house with me today. A man who was very instrumental in allowing me to do what it is I'm doing now and giving me the experience to get comfortable behind the microphone in media. The man Kern Tyson, journalist and CEO of Sports and the Word Gospel and Sports Station. How you doing, Kern?
I'm pretty good. It's great to be with you. Thanks for the plaudits and so on. I'm happy that I was a part and I am a part of what you're doing because you continue to expand and I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. So, Brother Kern, what I want to talk about, what we're going to talk about today is Ralf Rangnick. And then at the end of it, we're gonna grade him a little bit. We're gonna grade him. So as we go through the situations at Manchester United, we're gonna deal with Ralph. The first thing I wanted to talk about is Ralf Rangnick has hired a journalist from the Athletic to be his kind of communication liaison to kind of help him um deal with communicating, especially I'm assuming with the media. And that when I thought about tackling this topic, I said I have to get Kernan on this because you have a lot of years in this practical journalism kind of thing, and you know how when you heard that news, I'm sure this is not the first time you're hearing it.
Mm.
When you heard that Ralph and the person who is hired from the Athletic has taken a sabbatical from the Athletic for the rest of Ralph's time here until the summer. So he's taken a 6 month break from the Athletic, and he's strictly going to be working with Ralf Rangnick as far as a communication liaison. And this person is a tier 1 journalist, right? So when you first heard that news, what came to your mind as a journalist, somebody who is a journalist?
It's a case of taking in front before in front takes you. I think he understands the where he is right now at Manchester United, how tough it is, how the journalists and the media, whether it be social media or conventional media, they hang on your every word. So I think he also wants to tell his own story. He wants whatever he has to say to be clear, and he wants someone to guide him with that. In addition to that, to be able to communicate, I guess, with his players also, and to be able to know how to communicate with his players. I think he understands the multicultural dimension that is football, and he also understands the crisis that Manchester United is in. And you don't want to add to that crisis by saying nonsense or by your words being misinterpreted, although it could still happen. But you want to minimize the effect of that, minimize misinterpretation. So having someone in your corner who could basically tell your story and tell you and help you to tell your story is very important. And I think above all that, I guess he doesn't just trust Manchester United management and their communication specialists. Because I want to tell my story. I don't want you all to be spinning because they are very adept at Manchester United of spinning, being the spin doctors and so on. And I think he wants to avoid that. So he has armed himself. Very wise of him to so do. It's something that I would not have thought about as a coach, but I think it's very smart. He realizes that he's in a very high stress job, and the less things he has to worry about, the better for him. And communication should be something that he doesn't have to worry about. Very smart.
You know, and you see, this is why I wanted your perspective on this, because your assessment of it is very good, because my initial reaction was not as comprehensive and as well thought out as yours. My initial reaction was that Ralph is realizing that just going out there and being honest is not good enough as Manchester United manager, right? We all know about the faux pas with Martial, saying that Martial wasn't available, and Martial going online and saying he was, saying that Jesse wanted some time off, then Jesse coming out and saying he didn't want time off, he was told to take time off. We found out subsequently he wasn't told to take time off by Ralph, and it's very possible Ralph didn't even talk to Jesse or even Martial, that he was told these things by people in Manchester, and he was just relating what he was told. Lo and behold, it was another story. So, to me, I think Ralph feels like, yeah, what's going on? It have a lot of politics and a lot of things going on here, and I don't have time to. Not interested in this. When somebody asks me a question, I giving them a straightforward answer, and obviously, giving people straightforward answers seem to be getting me in trouble. So let me
That's
bring
the
a
one.
let
Correct.
me bring a communication specialist so that I wouldn't not to teach Ralph how to lie, but to teach him how to coach things in a way to protect himself from unnecessary scrutiny. This is a self-preservation
It is.
hire.
It certainly is. And I think too, I don't think he trusts his employers. And that to me,
No, and that what you said, that particular point that you brought up,
yes,
is significant because it is not just protecting himself from the media scrutiny, but protecting himself because he doesn't believe in the club to have his back.
correct. So that's the challenge he faces. I think Ralph Rangnick, let me say this, and I'm maybe going into into an area that you're not ready for or yet. But I think he's been given a job and he's basically his hands has been tied behind his back. And he has to be a chef, he has to be a cleaner, he has to be a chimney sweep, he has to do 5, 6, 7 things with possibly two hands tied behind his back. And I don't know how he's surviving as a manager because he everything he does is scrutinized. I mean, yesterday, what 1-1 draw with Burnley? It's Ralph's fault, eh? Middlesbrough, Ralph's fault. He is under constant scrutiny, and worse yet, it's 6 months, so it's concentrated scrutiny. So he has to protect himself.
Right, correct is right. And the thumbnail for this show has is a cartoon of a captain on a ship that is sinking. And the ship obviously is Manchester United, and the captain is Ralf Ragnick. And the reason I use that thumbnail is because for me, I see Ralph literally, when we grew up, it had these cartoons, and you would have somebody on a boat, and they throwing out water. And as soon as they plug one hole, another hole pops up. And you could never throw out enough water, and as you could never plug enough holes because it is just one situation after the next. Ralph Ragnick came into a Manchester United that was leaking goals, right? We were getting humiliated not just by the likes of Liverpool. We got humiliated by Watford, by Leicester. Leicester is mid-table. This is one of Leicester's worst seasons in the past 5 years, and we got humiliated by Leicester. Got humiliated by relegation struggle in Watford. Ralph came in, and defensively the team has played better. Yeah.
Correct.
So Ralph has come in and he has showed us up at the back. We are not conceding the amount of goals that we were conceding before. After he dealt with that issue, then he had to deal with Cristiano Ronaldo whining and moaning when he get taken off. And the star of Cristiano Ronaldo. I see a power struggle continuously between Ralph and Cristiano because I get the impression there are things Ralph wants to do and he feels he can't do because he may not necessarily be able to deal with Cristiano Ronaldo the way he would like. He may not be able to bench Cristiano as
Correct.
much as he would like. I don't know what that clicking noise is in the back. Yeah, so
Maybe
so
that's
you
the
have
technology, sadly.
okay, yeah, so you have that situation with where Ralph is concerned, where you have another hole in Cristiano Ronaldo dealing with Cristiano Ronaldo. Because I think between you and me, Cristiano Ronaldo's performances in the last 6 games deserve dropping. I could understand why he didn't
I
start
agree
the
with that.
game
I'm
yesterday.
very Yeah, I mean, to me, benching him yesterday was not something wrong. I mean, it took some
No,
guts,
that was
but I don't
because
think he's
of
been up to scratch. I don't think he's
the
as
extra time that he played in the FA Cup game. So that wasn't a benching. That was
granted.
for
Okay, fine.
for
Yeah,
fitness. But I think his form deserves him getting
But
benched.
Chado, he's not as sharp as he could be.
See that again. You froze on me for a second, Echo.
Sorry, I'm just saying that I'm agreeing with you that he's not as sharp as he usually is. He's not himself.
Correct. You know, Cristiano had 2 chances yesterday that the Cristiano of old would have buried in the second half of that game. And you know, been the superstar, you know, been the hero that he likes to be. But he missed them. And you know, you have to start. I don't know. I am wondering if
Mm-hmm.
Cristiano does be scoring in practice. But the bottom line is, so you have this other issue now where Ralf has to treat with the star that is Cristiano Ronaldo, right? And we know that Cristiano Ronaldo has his own backers at the club. And the reason why I say that is because when you have a player that has a lot of influence at the club, you're also going to make it more difficult for the manager to manage him. The manager can't just do what he wants because you have people on the back in the high up telling the manager, yeah, well, you need to play Ronaldo, you need to give him X amount of minutes or this, that, and the other. Then after that situation that he's still navigating, we have Greenwood. This situation with Greenwood that came up. And this has put Manchester United in a crisis because Manchester United now has a 37-year-old and a 36-year-old leading the line. Cavani also didn't look his sharpest, playing 2 games for Uruguay, helping them qualify for the World Cup. And he has come back, and he obviously was not his energetic self. And at 34 years old as a footballer, that is understandable. Cristiano Ronaldo is showing his age. We do not have any other strikers. Marcus Rashford is a winger. Sancho is a winger. Elanga is a winger. Maybe could play a false nine. So
Manga
Manchester
is young.
United
Yep. Mm-hmm.
strikers are 34-year-old and a 37-year-old. That to me is a crisis, right? It happened short term. The club wasn't in a position to buy a striker when this situation came up with Greenwood, but it has put us in a precarious position. If Cavani and Ronaldo not firing, where the goals going to come from? Before I go
Yep.
on to
Where
the
the
other,
where would the goals come from?
yeah, before I go on to the other crises, because there are a few more. What you have in anything you had to say about those two so far?
I mean, the Mason Greenwood. Forgive me for the noise in the back. That's my neighbors. They always say when it rains, it pours, right? You hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm saying, sorry. It's not by the back. Donny Van in the middle, he wanted one. So the challenge with Rangnick right now is that he is caught up, sadly, with trying to do the urgent things and not the important things. So the urgent things right now he's caught up on, trying to get water off the ship, bailing, ensuring that we keep our head above water. But a top flight club shouldn't have to be dealing with the urgent things alone. They have to deal with the important things, like winning, like getting into top four, going after a title, the academy, ensuring players are coming through. But he can't concentrate on that. He has to concentrate on the urgent, saying right things. Basically, I mean, cool. It is amazing. Go on this non yesterday, right? Pretty okay. At least for the we should have, but I think possibly is the best 40 minutes that we have played for a while. We played very good football yesterday. And how is he managing to put out an 11 or a 13 or 15 and play that level of football, okay, we win the game we did. All right, improved on Nick as a balling wise. It's for still because you're getting the result, but you're seeing definite improvement in the midst of autumn. I don't know how he's doing it, but it to me, it's a testament to the man and the quality of the man.
Yeah, and you're correct. The football on the pitch has improved. The chance creation has improved, and the we are just failing when it comes to putting chances away. And then the crisis, and I'm going to keep calling it a crisis until Edison Cavani and Cristiano Ronaldo start scoring. The crisis of having these two old men leading the line is a problem. So then, apart from that, he also has we had the issue of the midfield. You remember everybody was like, oh, the midfield, the midfield. We've been singing the
Mm-hmm.
midfield song and the CDM song for about 3 seasons now, right? And then Ralph has come. And with this system, because I don't think it's just the player, this system has turned Scott McTominay from being one of the poster boys for everything wrong at United, he and Fred. This system has turned Scott McTominay to being one of Manchester United's most consistent and reliable players in the midfield as far as defensive work.
Correct.
And when Fred plays, Fred
Yes.
also looks very good under Ralf Ragnick. So, no, don't get me wrong. I'm still saying we should upgrade in that position, but I'm just talking about the different issues that Ralph has fixed. So he has fixed the midfield to the point where we are not leaking goals, where we don't look bad, where we not like a donut FC, where everything just passing through the middle. And he's turned Scott McTominay into a serious what Ole has failed to do, what Jose has failed to do, what Carrick has failed to do. Ralph has been successful in doing, in turning Scott McTominay into a decent holding midfielder, right? And as soon
That's
as he
true.
has
That is
fixed
true.
that issue, he come in, he fixed the defense, he's fixed the midfield, and now we have the striking issue, and we're not scoring goals. I mean, Ralph probably just be thinking to himself, what else could go wrong at this club? As soon as he does something, and you're seeing it on the pitch, you're seeing an issue fixed. You're comparing how we're playing now, the state of our midfield, to what it was 3 months ago, and you're seeing improvement, and you're saying, yes, Ralph has fixed this, and it's just one issue after the next. And I feel like he must feel that he is captaining a sinking ship. And what is he to do again? You know? So how would you rate Ralph's performance on a scale of 1 to
And that
10
is
so far?
so far.
Yeah.
Well, um, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
I,
And I think that's
I,
pretty.
I,
That's fair.
yeah, I think so. Because I don't think people appreciate, as supporters, we just want to see winning. I don't think hopefully this video would put people in have a greater appreciation for the work Ralph is doing both on and off the pitch. Because managing Manchester United is really challenging. Really challenging. And all of these
I'm,
issues are
I'm
just
sure
making
he
it worse.
regrets. I'm sure he regrets right now leaving his job there at where Spartak, or where was Spartak Moscow, wherever he was, to come to Manchester United, because it has been nothing short of a disaster coming here, and it's not his fault, and he has to find a way to smile through that, find a way to get this team to win. I mean, Chad, we looking at us right now, the question is, are we going to finish top 4? Are we going to finish top 6? Are we going to finish top 7? Because we have some tough games coming up. We have, forget the Champions League for me. Forget that. We have Leeds to play. We have Man City. We have Liverpool. How are we going to get through the next few games with
Well,
a
I
team that is
am
deploying
actually
Mason
glad.
Greenwood? We lost Anthony Martial.
I
Glad.
am actually glad that Ralph has had these easy games or easier games to prepare, because I feel a lot better looking at this team taking on the likes of a Liverpool, taking on the likes of a City. Do I think that we are on the level to beat these teams? No, but I feel a lot better in terms of how the team is playing, that we could at least compete with these teams. It is once you could compete, it is possible that you could win, right? Because
You can win.
the
Right.
last month of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we were not looking competitive at all. So there was very little hope or thought of winning. It was more a matter of survival. Now we at least look good enough that we should be able to compete with these teams. So I actually look forward to seeing us play Manchester City in March. You know, um, so that is where we are, and it is really a challenge for the manager. And like you, I would give Ralph a 7, not an 8, but a 7 is still a 7 out of 10. Where we are at in the league is still very good, because again, Ralph has just had so much to do. If you could give Ralph any advice, we could get Ralph to take a look at this video and you could give him some advice. What would that advice be?
Um, Resign. No,
That wouldn't be good
but
for us.
no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. For him, I think he just has to follow. He just has to do what he's continuing to do, just to be consistent and trust his process, because he understands. He knows what, and he find a way to and what you do. Um, say you're already dealing, but will continue to trust your process, not so much the process, but yours. You know what you're good at. You know your strengths. You know your weaknesses. Do what you have to do, and eventually, I think we begin to see more wins. We begin to see even better football. We may not end top four. I don't know if he'll end with top four at the end of the season, but you're building, you're going forward, and that's the challenge with Manchester United. We haven't been doing anything. We haven't been building for the last few years. So he's
Nothing
now
consistent.
tasked the enormous task.
One
Right.
of the things I
So
like about Ralph,
start that process, and building is never easy.
one of the things I like about Ralph is his willingness and openness to getting specialists, right? He brought in a specialist,
Yes.
psychologist, sports psychologist. He realized that there are challenges with communication. He has brought in a specialist in that field for himself personally. And that, it shows a degree of humility. I know what I am good at, but I also know how I can improve, where I can improve, and I'm going to bring people in to help me. And this is the reason why,
Correct.
for me, I really hope that Ralph is equipped and really taken upstairs in a significant way, given a significant position, a technical director, something significant in the club. Because when you have somebody like that in charge, they're going to bring in top quality candidates to fill roles that are going to make the football side of Manchester United improve. Because so far in his short time here, Ralph has shown, he knows his quality, he knows what he's good at, but he also knows what he needs help, and he's not unwilling to reach out and get that help. You understand? And that is where we have been lacking in the past. We have to
Correct.
realize that the era of Sir Alex Ferguson, right? Sir Alex Ferguson was the chief scout. He was the top negotiator. He was the person who would go and literally engage with the players and call them up directly and bring them and show them around the club. And he had so many hats. People may not know this. They should, but some supporters may not appreciate this. When our captain in the 90s, Roy Keane, got arrested for a drunken and assault, it was Sir Alex Ferguson that went directly to the station to get him released on bail. That is not
Bailed him
something that
out.
would happen now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sir Alex used to go to parties to get the likes of Giggs and Beckham and call these guys out and say, it's time for you to go home. We have a game tomorrow. You understand? Sir Alex was so many things. He wore so many hats at Manchester United. All right. He had not just control of the club, but he was able, because you might have control, but you may not be able to do it, right? But he was able to control
Correct.
everything and keep things running smoothly. The reality is he did the job of about six people. Right? So Alex Ferguson did the job for about six people. Your chief security person, your chief communications person, your player liaison. There was so many things that Sir Alex did, and he was excellent at it. But we have to recognize that we need to transform this football club into a more modern football club, and that is only going to come with giving the right, putting the right people in the right spaces. I think the thought was, yeah, well, okay, when we bring in Van Hal, he's experienced, he could do all these things. No, he couldn't. Jose Mourinho loved control, so he liked the idea of being the man, but he couldn't. And Ralf is a similar is recognizes what he can do and is willing to bring in support. And I like that about Ralf.
So true.
So you have any parting words there, Kern?
Are we sticking there? We just have to. I mean, we're Manchester United through and through. So fans are going through a whole lot right now. I have a friend who says to me, "I don't want to see another Manchester United game." But we've had our good times, and we just have to find a way as fans to go through this tough time. It's not easy. It's affecting our disposition as fans. It's really tough. But I have to believe that things would get better. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe next 2 or 3 months, but things would eventually get better. And we just have to hold on and continue to believe that we won't get like Arsenal. We won't fall off the pace even more. That things would eventually get better. Just to hold on and continue to believe. I've been supporting this club since 1985, so we've been through. I was there when we weren't winning anything, and I believe that things would eventually turn around. It's just to hold the faith and
Yeah, indeed. We're having some connection issues with Kern a little bit there. But yeah, we have to. It's tough being a United supporter at the moment, and I definitely share your sentiment. And my hope is not just that we empower Ralph now, but we empower Ralph after the summer, because I think getting more football people involved with the club like Ralph Ragnick is what is going to propel Manchester United where we need to be. You know what I mean? We just have to adapt to the new realities of modern football. And this perception that a one man could
correct.
fix and do everything, that is not how good football organizations are run. When we talk about Ajax, for example. Mark Overmars left recently. But look at that. You have um Edwin van der Sar, right? I believe he's either the director of football or
Mm-hmm.
CEO over. Then he had Mark Overmars in a position of authority before he got released. And then you had a coach in Ten Hag that knows what he's about. So you realize when you look at that, and that's only the names we know. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people there. When you look at the board of Bayern Munich, 90% of the board of Bayern Munich are ex-players. Everybody from the top to the bottom are people who involved and who understand football. So yes, they have people running the business side of things,
Correct.
but they also are involved. They know football. And this is where Manchester United has been falling short. We have had too many people of influence at our club that don't know football. So what they know, which is
Correct.
commercial side, is doing great. Manchester United raking in the dollars. But what they don't know is showing itself because you're just hiring managers and expect them to fix everything on the football side when it is more than a one-person job. So I really hope that Ralf is able to is given the influence that he'll be able to do what he's supposed to do. Kern, I hope that I'm gonna have you on this program and other programs a little more often. For people who've been wondering
Yeah,
why you're
man.
not
Looking
seeing
forward to it.
sometimes it
Nah,
is
things will change soon.
yeah, we have little challenges, but we'll expect to see more of Kern. So this has been
Yeah,
another
you would. Yeah.
installment of Buzz the Net. And as I always say, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply. Keep good, everybody. I'm looking for my okay, here it is, my end of show clip. Later.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.